this is Liz from Adult Services. I'd like to welcome you back to our craft video series here at the Fox Lake District Library. For this video, we're going to be learning a painting technique to create a beautiful spray of lilacs using Q-tips. For this project, I have a blank canvas. If you don't happen to have a canvas at home, you can use a heavy paper like a cardstock or even a piece of light colored cardboard. I also have a paper plate, a paintbrush, a nice handful of Q-tips, some rubber bands, and my paint colors. For the lilacs, I've chosen to go with a more traditional pink and purple color scheme, but you are free to use whatever colors you like. There's no right or wrong answers in art. So, you may want to put down some newspaper or plastic to cover your area in case of any spills, and you may want to dress for the mess, put on an old t-shirt, take off any jewelry just in case. Now that we have all our supplies assembled, I'm going to start out by putting just a little bit of paint on my paper plate. Oops. It looks like this one needs to be shook up just a little bit. It's coming out with a clear liquid instead of the paint itself. There we go, a nice deep purple. I'd recommend start with just a little bit of paint at first. You can always add more to your plate, but once you put it out, you can't get it back in the bottle. I'm going to add just a little bit of a darker purple, nice plum. Oops. And then a nice light pink. Now that I have my paint out, I'm going to take my Q-tips. And I'm going to take a small grouping of only 5 Q-tips bundled together. You can see it forms just a little tight bundle. And I'm going to wrap one of the rubber bands around it so they do stay together. Oops. If you don't have rubber bands or you only have very large ones, you can also use old elastic hair ties for this. And now that I've got them put together, that forms a nice neat little bundle. I'm just going to go ahead and dip them in the purple first. And then I'm going to just stamp down right here on my canvas. I'm going to make it kind of thick right here at the bottom and then kind of curve up and taper off a little bit as I get more towards what will be the tip of my flower. I'm just going to repeat that to create another one. You can make your bases as thick as you want. So if you have a very healthy lilac bush, then I'm going to flip it over, take the other end of my bundle and dip that in the pink. And I'm going to repeat the process, just stamping it in just to give a little bit of contrasting color. Then I'm going to repeat, and I'm going to give myself a third lilac right over here, kind of going off my page. And I'm going to come up a little bit and bring these two all the way to the top and put in another little one over on this edge. And I'm going to take another grouping of 5 Q-tips and rubber band these together. And I'm going to dip those in the deep plum just to give myself a little bit of a nice darker red accent. I'm going to go ahead and put that right on in there. So you can see it's developing some nice contrasting colors throughout the bloom. And you can always flip this one over. This needs a little bit of pink in here. And as you continue to stamp through, it starts to blend your previous colors together so you get some beautiful shading work. I put a little bit of pink in this one on the side as well. And I'm going to continue on. So you can create new bundles as you go through for the colors, or you can reuse your same ones and go back over. It is entirely up to you. You see, as you continue to stamp, the individual dots become less distinct, and you end up with these nice shaded flowers with your contrasting colors coming together. So I'm going to leave it as a pretty open painting with just the 4 blooms. As you notice, I've got a lot of white space down here, and that's where I'm going to come in with my green paint. This one's a nice bright green, but you can always use a darker color if you prefer, or even 1 or 2 shades of green if you want to create a contrast. So I'm going to put just a little bit of that out. I'm just going to take my paintbrush, and for the stem, just with a little bit of green, I'm just going to create a nice soft line coming down. For each, I'm going to repeat this for each bloom. And with just the tip of my brush, I'm going to just put in a couple little dots of green within the bloom itself, so you can kind of get a little bit of an image of that stem going through. Now if you wish, for the base, you can always put in a little bit of green for the grass. You can, if you prefer to do lilacs that have been picked already, you can create a vase shape along the base of your painting. It is entirely up to you. I'm just going to fill in a little bit here on the bottom. It is entirely up to you how many blooms you want to create on your painting, where you want to situate them. Excuse me. You can also use the same technique if you want to use pinks and whites to create a cherry blossom effect, or if you prefer fall colors, it makes beautiful fall leaves using golds and reds and coppers. It is a very simple, versatile technique. Just bundling together your Q-tips and using them in the stamping motion to create flowers and blooms throughout your painting. As many as you want or as few as you want. There's no right or wrong answer, no perfect picture. As long as you are happy and enjoying yourself, that is what matters. So once you've completed your painting, you can put it aside to dry. I would say grab another canvas, keep trying. As I mentioned before, this technique can also be used for cherry blossoms, fall leaves. If you have a background of blue and some greens, you can create dandelion fluff that's blowing away in the wind. It's entirely up to you, and the sky is the limit. We would love to see your masterpieces that you create using Q-tip painting technique. Whether you choose to do lilacs or a different formula, please share a photo with the library. We'll be bringing you more craft videos, and we hope you'll keep tuning in and sharing with us, and that you had as much fun with this tutorial as I did creating lilacs with you. Thank you!